welcome everyone in the chat. Welcome on YouTube.
Hi.
Welcome on your audio feed if that's what you're listening to. We appreciate you very much. We have made it to March.
Happy March.
Happy birthday month to us.
Happy birthday month, friend.
Yeah, so we've reached episode 17 of season 3, which is titled Out of the Frying Pan into the Inferno, aired January 29th, 2013, written by Maya Goldsmith, directed by Michael Grossman. Fun fact about this episode, this is the second longest episode so far that has premiered. It's like a couple of minutes longer than most of their episodes.
I didn't think this felt any longer than any other episode.
I think when you watch, so I had watched a few in a row, and when you do watch this one compared to others, you're like, oh, it does feel like a little, like I feel they added, like the Spencer scene in the car, like that was a little bit longer, and
I see.
Like they extended some scenes a little bit.
Maybe I just always want a little bit more, so this felt right.
Good.
It felt good.
Yeah. The first episode that was long was the If You Don't Succeed, Lie Again. And ironically, that's the episode where Paige tries to drown Emily and the girls go to the bead shop, and Ella almost catches Aria and Ezra at the museum. So good times.
Good times.
It feels like a lifetime ago that we talked about that.
Yeah.
The summary for the episode, Aria knows that she should tell Ezra about his son, but she isn't ready to face the idea of what it might do to their relationship. Hanna, on the other hand, is sure Caleb is keeping a secret from her, and she is determined to figure out what it is. We didn't see Caleb. We actually just talked about him.
At all.
Spencer is fed up with all the secrets and decides she no longer wants to play the games. Meanwhile, Emily learns more about what Allie may have been hiding the summer before her murder. Did she? I thought there was some good reveals.
Yeah, this episode
Small reveals
provided, I hope, maybe, I don't know if they're just temporary little bits or if this is like really leading into Allie's storyline. Well, it does, but like, could this have led to her murder?
Right. Do you think?
I don't know. Chat, sound off. What do you think?
Well,
like,
we'll talk
newbies.
about it and we'll discuss, and maybe you'll feel a little bit differently when we talk about it. So as we can imagine, Spencer is devastated beyond belief. She could barely function. She doesn't really say anything right away to anyone. And you kind of predicted that she wouldn't tell anyone right away. But the girls are like, what's wrong with her? Something's going on. They don't really outwardly say like, are you okay? Or Aria says, what's wrong with you? That's not a right. I would never say to you, Michelle, what's wrong with you?
And Spencer, she looks like something is
like
upset.
A death.
Yeah, something's wrong. Like it is so clear, and to not be like something. Are you sure you're okay?
Right. It's different this time. Like
it's
something
different.
is different about you, and they don't really go into it, which is sad for a group of friends. Also, obviously the A of it all, but then they have all of their other drama and secrets going on.
Well, that's really it too. Yeah.
So they're like, oh, okay, Spencer's going through something. We all are, basically.
Right.
The girls don't even bring up the fact that Byron had told Aria about Melissa being there the night Allison disappeared. So I guess eventually she will learn about that. Spencer's very, very defensive. She's on edge. She's lashing out. Emily brings up this notebook, which we'll talk about. And Spencer's like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm over Allison. We shouldn't be protecting her anymore, even after she's, in death. And she doesn't feel loyal to her anymore. So she apologizes to Emily, and she tells Emily that Toby and her broke up.
Yeah.
And that's why she's so devastated, which is, I guess, also partly true.
Yeah. Absolutely.
She hasn't heard from Toby, and she's devastated. So they seem to be broken up. Later on, she gets a text from Aria, and Michelle called it right away. She's like, oh no, this is not Aria. This is not Aria.
It was so clear this was not Aria, but Spencer went into like fight mode.
She went down to the park where Aria says to meet her. And I feel like to her, she didn't think anything of it, that Ezra was the one that was there. Aria wasn't there meeting her, but Ezra was there.
Yeah, like she didn't think that was weird.
Right. She didn't think that was weird. She was just so seeing red, hot-headed, that she just went down there, said to Ezra, I can't believe you would treat her this way after all she's done for you. How do you think she felt keeping a secret, but you should be blaming Maggie about your son. And he's like, whoa, 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 what is it? What is happening? And Spencer obviously drives away, realizing, oh my God, he did not know any of this.
And even when Spencer approaches Ezra, I was like, oh, Spencer, what are you
he's
doing here?
acting so just like nonchalant, like she didn't read into anything.
Yeah, she was just seeing one
track minded.
Right.
And she left. I can't even imagine what was going through his brain at that point.
I didn't expect him to find out this way.
I'm sure you didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Who could predict that?
Kat says, how did you like the way this played out?
I like it because it shocked me.
It did shock. Yeah. I know. Well, out of all the weeks that we've been waiting for her to tell him, we're like, maybe A will do something, which they did.
Yeah.
Or maybe Maggie will say something, but Aria is just like every week. It's so exhausting to hear her say, I'm so happy it's out.
Yeah.
Because I'm so over it.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, Aria goes to see Spencer, and Spencer's like, look, I know. Go ahead. Yell at me, cry, do what you have to do. And Aria's like, I don't blame you. Like, I know I made you do this. And Spencer's like, I don't think you understand, though, that what we do and the secrets we keep has consequences, and maybe we should be blamed for that. I really understand, and I like what Spencer was saying, obviously, which the delivery was so harsh.
Yes, and I also feel that Spencer's just taking at this moment is feeling a lot of heaviness of it, and feeling the responsibility, and feeling the kind of the victim way of, we deserve what we get because look what happened to me and Toby. I let him in. I trusted him.
Right.
I obviously deserve what I got. And
also, like, does Spencer think that potentially Toby could be the one that set her up?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, he's still messing with me. I trusted him.
Yeah.
And it's coming back to bite me.
So I'm a fool.
Right. I'm the fool. And she's obviously deflecting and not telling Aria how she feels, but she's telling Aria, we all have secrets. We shouldn't really be keeping these secrets. And A is just letting us off the hook, basically, telling us that we need to tell our secrets.
Right.
Before that, too, I should mention she does storm out of Ella's classroom.
Yeah.
And says, like, I don't need to be here. It's a joke. And I was like, what's up with you?
Yeah. So she wanted to stick up for her friend, but also I think she just needs to place her anger somewhere.
She just needs to lash out. Yeah. Which it's so frustrating for her. But I mean, guess she's not ready to talk about it.
No.
Which we know. She told Emily, I'm not ready to talk about this.
Right.
She sends a message for someone to meet up with her, and they're not supposed to be meeting up. And initially it kind of leads, like, you could think this is Toby.
Yeah.
Can we meet and talk about things? But she ends up driving there. We do have this scene where she dramatically puts on the mascara and she's crying. Like, I liked it. I think it went on maybe a little too long.
Yeah.
But I liked what they were doing. Like, she needs to put on a face. And also, I think telling the audience she could potentially be seeing Toby, and she wants to look like she's holding it together. And she walks into this restaurant, meets up with, eventually we'll learn his name. I don't remember what his name is at the moment. Which seems to be like he's a private detective, a PI, but not like a sketchy kind of PI, not like she hired him off the street. I don't know where she got his name. I don't know if this is the PI that watched Melissa or whatever.
That's what I was thinking. Like, it's the family PI, because like I know no one can know that we're meeting.
Right.
That's why
True.
I was getting those.
Like my family
vibes.
can't know. It's just me.
We should just call him Tony Hawk. He looks like Tony Hawk.
He really does. He looks so familiar. Like he is Tony Hawk.
Yeah. So Tony Hawk, the PI, the family PI. This is very interesting. So she wants him to figure out where the A key goes to and to follow Toby.
Yeah. He'll lead you there.
Wow.
It's exciting.
I'm into it.
I was going to say it's exciting stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Because the audience doesn't know what the hell is happening, and Spencer wants to find out. So we're going to find out as she does.
Yeah.
Potentially this key could lead to the A layer. She doesn't know.
Right.
Okay, so over to Aria. Obviously, we've mentioned how obnoxious it is that she's every episode saying she needs to tell Ezra, and she doesn't tell Ezra. Finally, it doesn't matter because Spencer tells Ezra. Ezra comes to see Aria at school.
Not good.
she's like, can we talk about this elsewhere? He's like, no, we need to talk about it now.
So inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
You're storming into a high school to talk to your girlfriend who's a student there to address this situation.
That's a whole other issue.
Right, but maybe, a text of being like, we need to talk later. And listen, I've been there. I've stormed in on places I probably shouldn't have and, said things to people. But this was not appropriate.
Yeah. Agreed. But she does, we don't really see exactly how he figures out, what had happened, but she admits the fact that during his birthday, her and Wes knew, and they didn't say anything, and she didn't know how to tell him. He says, you're the one who's not supposed to be keeping the secrets. We're supposed to be a team. And she's right. She says, you're right. She did handle it as maturely as she possibly could by being yelled at school.
Mm-hmm.
And, he storms out, and later on, I think they have plans to meet up, but then he's like immediately packing up his car, and she's like, I thought we were going to meet upstairs. He's like, yeah, we are. But I don't know.
I just have to fill up my car first.
Yeah, I feel like he was going to leave without saying goodbye.
I totally think that's what he was going to do.
Fucked up.
I know you're going through it, and this is an awful way to find out, because this is a life-changing moment. But this is very messed up the way you're going about this.
It is messy. It's really, really messy. So Aria goes up to him and she's like, hey, are we good? And he's like, yeah, actually we are good. He says that Maggie told him that she made Aria keep the secret. So he doesn't blame her for that, which doesn't excuse the fact that she did snoop beforehand.
Right.
Which he does kind of reprimand. I guess he reprimands her during school about that. So I guess to him, okay, it's over that. Maggie told me you had to keep the secret. We're past that. I just don't know what this secret, what this means to my life.
Right.
This changes my entire life.
Right.
And unfortunately, you are my partner, but I don't know how to navigate it. I can't possibly explain to you how I'm going to navigate it. He's not okay. He ends up crying. He doesn't know how to handle his emotions about it. He doesn't know how to feel.
He also doesn't know how to kind of put Aria on pause.
Right. He is in his head. It's like his heart and his head obviously want to do different things. He clearly doesn't want to leave her, but he has to go meet his son.
Yeah.
He doesn't know when he's coming back.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a plan. He just was going to go meet his son and figure it out from there. So he doesn't know where that leaves him and Aria.
Right.
Vic wants to know, is this the end? Is this the end of Aria?
Unfortunately, it's not the end. I don't think it's the end for them.
Do you think they'll take a pause, though?
Yeah, I think it's going to be at least a couple episodes of I haven't heard from you, or we keep missing phone calls, or he doesn't answer me, and I'm just giving him space.
Yeah.
And then once he deals, they'll reconvene.
Right.
I think this couple's one of the ones that make it.
All the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I think they get married and all the things.
You think they get married?
Well, because when I think about our teen dramas, there's always the couple from the beginning that make it.
Yeah. I can see why you would say that.
I don't think it's Hanna and Caleb. I don't think it's Spencer and Toby. I don't think it's Emily and Paige.
Right.
I think it's Ezra and Aria.
I can agree with why you would say that. It would make there's always one, and it would make sense that the writers would push for this so hard.
Yeah.
You know?
We can torture them a little bit, but
definitely. Right. It doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also to mention, Byron spoke to Mr. Sorensen, which in the chat we were like, Byron is way closer to Mr. Sorensen's age than he was to Meredith.
Yeah.
And apparently on the phone he tells Byron that Meredith has issues and she's been off her medication. This show handles mental health the worst ever.
Yep.
We'll continue to see that. But yeah, that was the excuse. And he says, we don't want to press charges. Me and my daughter just want to see her get help.
But Aria's
but where is
not
she?
In this state.
Right. Can she go to Alaska and get help?
Yeah, elsewhere.
That's the answer.
This is the way we're dealing with Meredith, and now we're just going to move on because I feel like now we're truly done with Meredith.
We're done with. I don't think we ever talk about her again.
We met her in season 1.
I know.
And to keep her in the background just to bring her in for this?
I know. I wonder, was that always the plan? Because clearly in the books,
Right.
it's not going that way.
Right. She's a big deal in the books.
Right. She seemed, well, who knows? But I don't
But
think they went this way.
But even where we leave off in the books,
no, they
she's
have
a bigger storyline.
and they have a semi-normal relationship in the books so far.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why we did this. It was
Do you think the actress had other
prior engagement, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I should really look it up. I wouldn't
if
doubt
anyone knows, please reach out.
I wouldn't
fill
doubt
us
it
in.
if it wasn't the case, though. I think they just were like, okay, we got to bring in some drama for a few episodes.
I get that, but to have her since season 1, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Byron does say, too, he owns up to basically being a shitty father. I mean, I guess, okay, great. Yeah, he makes this, like, reminiscent story of when they bought the house and they had no money and they couldn't afford heat and he didn't want his kids to get burned, but he understands, like, he failed them. At least Aria. He acknowledges it to Aria. I would love for Mike to get an apology.
I just, like, don't care, you know?
I could not care.
Byron is such a snice fest about with...
Yeah,
okay.
Agreed. I
Like,
just
if-
would love
like,
to see him go.
If the Allie stuff and him are done, like, if we're not going to explore that more...
Let's get rid of him.
Just, where... Can you go please live with Ella? Maybe Ella's going to come
Do you think
back.
they're going to get back together?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I like
Well,
Ella
we have
with
Zach.
Zach.
Yeah.
I know he's such a cutie patootie, but I could also
We
see that
haven't seen him in a while.
just
actually.
being temporary.
Mm.
Be like, oh, I should get back with Byron, my husband.
No.
Yeah.
All right, over to Emily. Pam brings in a package that is from the James family, and she brings it up in hesitation, but she still gives it to Emily and then says to Emily, wasn't Lyndon's last name James? I shouldn't have brought up this package. I don't know what to do. Should I? And Emily's mom, I'm just going to open it. She's like, should I bring it down to the police station? And this is when we find out Pam is actually starting her first day.
That's an interesting...
What a weird transition.
tie-in here.
What a weird transition. Yeah, I don't really know. Kate asks, what role is Pam's new job at the police station going to play going forward, if any?
Yeah, I think this is going to make Pam feel a little uncomfortable. I think she's going to overhear some information. I think also maybe the girls will look at her as a trusted person to go to. I'm still waiting for Hanna to get her blood test.
Right, we haven't done that.
I don't know if it's coming back. I have not forgotten. I will not forget. So maybe that plays in there. But then what we learn, I don't know how much the girls are going to end up going to the police with new information.
Right.
With the Wilden of it all.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Emily opens the package and there are dozens of, looks like birthday cards and memorabilia she had sent to Allison or given to Allison, and Maya must have found it and then Lyndon must have kept it like as a keepsake or something creepy like that, souvenir, who knows. And the girls realize that also in there is this biology notebook in which Mike was like, there was chemistry stuff going on in there, like it didn't add up, but it was just funny that they called it the biology notebook, funny. Which to me, it was a slam book. Like an old school slam book.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
It was just labeled biology, but it was a slam book.
It was, I mean, there was biology stuff in there.
Yeah.
But it was basically a slam book.
Yes.
So it's a conversation between Allison and someone else, and the girls are like, we recognize the handwriting, but not enough to like confirm who they think it is.
Right.
The girls then read a portion where Allie went to go see Toby, potentially Nobe, in juvie. This scene is the lore of Pretty Little Liars and Durag Toby. It is why.
Can I just say, when we recorded a promo for We Are Liars.
Yes, I wondered if you would remember this.
Oh, yeah. And you were like, do-rags and red coats. And I'm like, do-rags.
You're like, I don't know any of these things
yet.
I
know red coat. Mm-hmm. And I knew that was a thing in PLL, but I was like waiting for a do-rag. And I'm like, what is she talking about? So I have never forgotten that.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you stored it.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't know it was going to be Toby.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing with Keegan?
Poor freaking Keegan.
Last week, as we discussed,
he's like the eye candy of the episode, really.
Right. But as we discussed with Laura and Daisy, of when they're trying to make Keegan tough, it's laughable.
It's so comical. It's so bad. This is so bad. And so many levels.
It's so cringy.
It is so cringy. It's highly offensive to people in juvie.
I mean, well, sure, but in
with
other
the
ways.
Durag.
What? It's like when Michael Scott.
Yes. Yes. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
The Dementors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Puts on the bandana on his head. Yeah. Wow. And it's funny because when we were watching, Liss was like, right before this scene, she goes, "Here it comes."
I go, "Here it comes." And nobody
and I was like,
I mean,
what do you mean?
You know, those who
Here
knew
it
in the
comes.
chat.
Yeah.
Knew what was happening. But here it is. I can't remember if we see another flashback of Durag Toby, but it is forever in the brains of Pretty Little Liars viewers all over the planet.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
What we learned from this scene is that Allison goes to see Toby because she thinks he's A. And she wants to get him to own up to the fact that he's been sending her these messages. She says, I think she alludes to, your sister is now blind. I don't know if she thought maybe he was doing it for Jenna or if Jenna originally was the one to send these. And now it's Toby because he wants revenge on the girls because of the blinding situation, the Jenna thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't do this, but I want to help whoever did because you guys deserve like everything you get, basically. So at this point, Kate says, do you think he was already on the A team all those years ago?
Oh no.
Yeah. Or and then if yes, okay. But if no, when do you think he decided to hand over his services?
Because at this point, are we to believe Mona was on the team?
I think that
she wasn't.
I think that those messages, well, it was never confirmed if Mona was the one to send Allie those messages.
Right.
Just the girls. But I guess you could assume it was Mona because she was the one who kind of started this whole thing. Or maybe not. I don't know. And, there is a hierarchy here.
Is this going to make sense one day?
I guess. Yeah, it'll make sense.
Yeah. Kate, I don't know. Kate asked that question? Okay.
She did.
I do not know when Toby decided or Nobe decided.
Or Nobe, right. It could be Nobe, the twin.
This is probably the number one thing I'm interested in.
Is Nobe Tobe?
Well, just all of it. Like when he decided if he is a twin, if he is under a spell, like all of Toby, I guess.
Oh yeah.
If we're gonna treat it as just one story, I need to know so badly. Were you evil from the start?
I know. Like, what did you?
When did you like?
Oh, did you like seek out one of them? I know.
Like,
I don't even want to think about that. It's terrible.
Like your connection with Emily, was that false?
Right. Like, was he trying to get with Emily in the beginning because he thought Emily was the easy target and then realized, okay, actually you don't like guys, so therefore you're not going to be into me. I have to go to the next person who's more gullible. But Spencer's not. Maybe emotionally she is.
No.
Well, plus we know Aria was taken and yeah, I know. It's like the thing you don't want to think about it that way. That's so messed up.
It's so messed up.
It's so hurtful. And that's probably what Spencer's going on in her brain, over and over again. Was this all a lie? My entire relationship, my entire friendship with him.
Intimate, as Caleb would say. They were intimate.
They were intimate. Newly intimate. So that's like what even that hurts more.
God, it hurts. Oh, wow.
I know.
I need to
we need
know.
answers.
If I was on my own on this PLL journey, I would be binging to get to this answer.
I know. I can confirm to give you some excitement. By the end of the season, we will have some answers. Yeah, I know. It feels like a relief, right?
That actually feels really good. That provides some.
Yeah, it helps. It helps a little bit.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah. So the girls read further into this journal that there are entries between whoever, which we'll figure out is Cece, but Allison and someone else, and they're talking about the beach hottie. Another thing in the lore of Pretty Little Liars is the beach hottie. Who's the beach hottie? Who's the beach hottie? So the girls realize that they're reading in this conversation and they're not really understanding why Allison could be afraid of this person. And then Emily finds a photo in the notebook, Allie and Cece and Kate May, and so she goes up to Cece to ask her these questions, and Cece says, I don't know who he was. I probably did meet him because we were meeting lots of people that summer, but I know that she thought she was pregnant. She was late for her period. We have this whole flashback scene of them and, eating crab legs, and Allie is distraught because she thinks she's pregnant and he's going to kill her.
Whoa.
Yeah. And Michelle's like, this is the motive the whole time.
Right. Like, was this the motive? Yeah. And then did she need money for an abortion?
Right. Like, she needed money to get out.
Yep.
Do something.
Yep.
Well, she had a plan. The girls, the more we see what Allison was up to before and leading up to the day of her death, like, there are things that she needed to get accomplished that she was going for.
Yeah.
So this could very well be one of them.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I mean, obviously, terrible
it's
things.
Devastating.
Terrible things. At least it seems it was consensual, right? Like, the way she came up to Cece, it could almost seem like she was maybe like, assaulted somehow. But she's like, no, we were using protection, but not all the time. This is so sad.
And then
she was a child at this point.
Well,
14 years old.
Yes. And then for her to say, if I am pregnant and I told him, he would kill me. Now, of course, we're hanging on that, but it could be like, metaphorically speaking,
he would just like, I can't have this baby.
Right. We got to handle it.
Yeah. So the girls are like, nobody knew this. Cece said she thought she was. So like the listeners want to know, do you actually believe she was pregnant? Because they say it could maybe not have been on the autopsy report if it was very early on.
Yeah, so that leaves me.
I didn't research that, but I'll just take that what they say,
I know.
Take it with a grain of salt, but
I don't know at this point. I can go either way because like if she was pregnant and needing to get an abortion and that's why she needs to do all the things to get the money, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I could also see her getting her period right after all is well, and
I think she said she was 2 weeks late, right?
Yeah.
Is that what she said?
2 weeks late.
That's pretty late.
Yeah.
The agita. Yeah, it's pretty late, and she was scared shitless. And Cece said something like, "Oh, well, Jason didn't know because if he did, he would kill whoever it was."
Yeah.
Yeah. As we know, Pam is at the police station. She's starting her first day. She strikes up a conversation with Officer Barry and asks him, well, do you think it's okay if my daughter did receive a package from the ex-assaulters/murderers family? And then Wilden, of course, overhears this and he gets involved in the conversation. And then they also talk about later on how Wilden can understand how Emily is feeling because when he was first out of, the academy, he had to kill someone out of self-defense and it stays with you forever. But the way he's talking about it with Pam, it's almost kind of like not in a positive, like an encouraging conversation. No. He's kind of like, you guys should probably leave to get her out of all this because I can't go, but this is the first I'm talking about it in however many years it was.
How old is Wilden?
I don't know. I think he's older than he is in the books.
Right.
But he appears older than he probably is what the show wants him to be. I don't know. 30? Is that pushing it? He's definitely older than like Ezra.
Yeah.
Cece, them, that age
but like
level.
Younger than the parents.
But younger than the parents because like we know him and Ashley had the thing. So maybe he's 30.
Okay.
Maybe him and Zach are the same age around there. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the girls decide what what do we do with this information? Do we tell the police? Because now this is evidence. Someone's saying that he was dangerous. This person could kill Allison, and decides to give it in to the police. And then Wilden's like, thanks for this information. It really is going to help us out. And the girls then see at the police station is a photo of Wilden with friends holding this big ass fish. He's that kind of guy.
He sure is.
He sure is that guy you see on the dating profiles.
That's right. Has the fish.
Has the fish. And it was from a Cape May.
Now,
this could be. I mean,
this could be coincidental.
Britt says, "What is the likelihood that this is Wilden's baby?"
Well, that ties in if it is that Wilden has a connection to this case and why he would love to just place blame on someone else.
Right? It would all make sense as to why he's so heavily invested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, it could just be
coincidental.
That picture could have been taken. We don't know when that could have been taken.
Right.
Anytime.
Exactly.
Not the summer that Allie was there.
Yeah. Vic says, do you believe he is the beach hottie?
I mean, again, it lines up, but part of me feels like it's too easy. What do you think? Vic, do you think so?
I mean, he is a dirty cop.
He's disgusting.
We know he's a dirty cop. It wouldn't put it past him to be involved further. Like, that's why he's so invested in this case.
Right.
It's very possible. I like the possibility of it.
I do too.
You know?
Because it finally gives us just another
layer
to explore. Do I think it's this way? No. But it would make sense too.
Right.
Because he sucks.
Right.
He's sketchy.
Mean, he could be the beach hottie and she could be lying about the pregnancy. He could not be the beach hottie and she could be with someone else and could have been pregnant, or she did get her period and he's still the beach hottie. Like, there could be
definitely could be the beach hottie, but is the beach hottie the one that got her pregnant?
Right. It could be a different person.
Vic thinks that he might be the beach hottie.
I mean, it would be fun and fascinating for it to,
but it doesn't make him guilty.
It doesn't. No, I mean, he's guilty of other things. Maybe
sure,
not this yet.
Sure.
All right. Lastly, going to Hanna, I applaud Ashley for at least trying to make some sort of conversation with her child who is not really having it. And she's saying, "I can get you transferred out of the classes," and Hannah's like, "Mom, it's okay. Mona's still going to be in school. It is what it is. Like, I'm handling it. You and Caleb need to let this go." And she kind of alludes to the fact that Caleb is trying to, what did she say the word? What was the word she used? It was like canoodling, but it wasn't that word.
Oh, I have it down. Hold on. Let me grab it.
What was the word?
Tangling.
And Hannah's like, tangling? Who says that?
Yeah. Tangling
with Mona. In school, we then see Hanna, who's lurking in the corners and the shadows, and she overhears Paige on the phone with Caleb. Because she says straight out, "Caleb, I will do it." And she says, "You were the one to put the brain in Mona's locker."
Now this is a reveal.
This is a reveal. Yeah, so it wasn't Lucas. It wasn't
Mona.
A team. It was Caleb. He was like, "No, I'm going to torture this bitch if she's here."
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the beginnings, I guess, of him and Paige teaming up. And then Paige says, "I understand what I have to do. This is the plan. I'm going to go there tonight." Paige then goes to a club. It ends up being ladies' night, in which I don't know if this is also just specifically a lesbian bar.
Right.
Or if it was just ladies' night there and there were just happened to be many lesbians or something.
All lesbians.
It was lesbian night, or it was a lesbian bar.
Yeah.
And Hanna follows Paige there. Paige is very closely talking to someone, and if we watch the webisodes, we would learn that her name is Shauna.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't actually. We will learn more about her next week, but this is someone who's very chummy with Paige, and Hannah's really watching closely. And of course, when she gets there, she gets hit on. It's like, I've been brewing that sneeze for 2 hours. Nothing was, my nose was tickling so much. I was like, can it just come out?
Bless you.
Thank you. I feel so much better now. Yeah, so this woman gives Hanna a drink, doesn't even card her, gives her the drink, says, "Oh, this woman over there sent you this drink." And it's just, typical We have lesbians. They need to hit on the women that are. I hate when shows do this, but whatever. So Hanna ends up trying to hide from Paige and Shauna, and she's like sort of dancing with the girl who gave her the drink, but then this girl's girlfriend comes over, or girl she's seeing or whatever, and she says, who's this blonde peroxide bitch or whatever, and throws a drink on Hanna. The bouncer then kicks her out and says she was underage drinking, even though she didn't have any sip, but a splash of gin got in her mouth when she threw the drink at her.
Shouldn't they all be carded then?
Right. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. Yeah.
Stupid.
Kat says, is she cheating on Emily?
No.
There's a plan. There's very clearly a plan.
There's a plan.
That's what I'm saying.
But Shauna is her name?
Shauna,
she did say something like, I would have to kiss you, or
right.
I will kiss you, or this
right. I think they said if they play the real version of this, I'm going to have to kiss you or something.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like clear that they have a rapport. Like, it's not the first time they're meeting.
Yeah, right. And I do like the fact that Hanna thinks Paige and Caleb working together is a joke. And so I'm going to go bust them before A does.
Right. She's like, they can't do this. No. A is going to kill them.
Right.
A is going to kill us all and murder us.
Right.
Because there's no way that A is not onto them.
Right.
So then she gets arrested or taken to the jail. Ashley ends up picking her up. And she does admit to Ashley, like, I went there to spy on Caleb and Paige. And, I think she's cheating on Emily. Like, basically everything she can tell her. I wasn't underage drinking. This is what happened to me. Like, she told her everything.
Yeah.
And then Ashley's like kind of confused, but ultimately I guess she lets it go. And then we have our last scene where we see a red coat and this person with nice red nails is using this blowtorch to burn Hannah's bobblehead. It's so random. I mean, in there is a dollhouse with dolls and like many different versions of the girls, and then also bobbleheads. So stupid.
I thought it was an interesting choice to burn Hanna.
Right. Like, is that meaning,
Hanna next?
Right. Is Hanna next? Is that foreshadowing?
Yeah.
Or like, did Hanna get burned tonight technically? I mean, not really. I think like I feel like we should have done like Aria's head already burned because of Ezra's secret.
Or Spencer's.
Right. But now it's Hanna. So like, are we going?
And it was weird that it was a red coat and not a black hoodie.
Right. So it's just,
what?
Yeah, I know. There's so many things, so many questions we could ask here. It's craziness. Oops, sorry. Yeah, it's craziness. Mike asks, what was your go-to drink at the club? And have you ever thrown a drink on someone? He wants to know.
I have not thrown a drink on someone.
No. That would be so cathartic, though.
Yeah. My go-to is gin and seltzer.
What about like in 2010? 2012?
Still, I can't do sugary drinks. Like if we're talking like 2008.
Yeah, like when
like
we
Jaeger
like,
bomb.
well, if we like went, oh God, that just hurt my stomach when you just said a Jaeger bomb.
Or like Bacardi rum and seltzer.
Yeah, I think
like, no.
Yeah, I think we started out a lot with like the like Bacardi or like Smirnoff.
Oh God.
I mean, this is when you're children, like you pick the most disgusting.
This is when I was like
thing.
21.
Yeah.
But like very quickly I got to a point where I was like, I'm just doing like seltzer and the
yeah, I was always like vodka
liquor.
Seltzer, which now don't give me vodka
I
ever.
can't do vodka.
I don't like it at all. I would rather do gin and seltzer, tequila and seltzer.
Yep.
But yeah, none of those pink drink, pinkety drinkities.
No. Right.
Ashley's like, what's a pink drink? Is that code for something gay? Like it was very funny. Yeah, but that's the summary. It was a good episode.
It was a good episode. It gave us some stuff.
Gave you some
new paths to think about.
Yes.
So I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. So Lucky Leon's Ladle. The scoop of the week is bubble gum. I thought a kid flavor was fitting for this episode as we found out this week that Allie was pregnant the summer she was missing. Bubblegum also relates to Allie herself, as she reminds me of those bubblegum popular girls that you see in TV and movies in the early 2000s. Another reference to the kids is Ezra finally finding out he has a son. Do you think he took his son out for ice cream when they met? I give this episode 3 scoops.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I think he was like, nice to meet you.
Hi. Malcolm.
Malcolm, the baby Malcolm, who's 7.
Not a baby.
Yeah, I don't think I'll tell you, we don't see their official meeting. Like, he's not next week's
sure
episode.
we don't.
Which I would have not. Again, I shouldn't even say it. I don't care.
I know.
I actually just don't care.
I know.
Because as Lauren said last week, like, why are we giving Ezra? He's not a main. Yes, he's a main character, but he's not one of the core 4.
Right.
We don't need to give him a whole story.
Right.
Excuse me, a whole storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your MVP, do you have one?
Yeah, I do. Is that who I wrote down? It's funny. Like, I try to pick them and then we talk about it and it always changes.
I didn't particularly like any of the girls, really.
No, but I have my MVP.
Okay, ready on 3?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1,
Aria.
Pam. Oh, okay, that's a good choice.
Yeah, out of all of the girls, I felt...
Yeah. Well, Spencer, we know she's grieving.
Right.
You can't really blame her for that, but she was very harsh.
Yeah.
Emily,
Nothing
was nothing there.
Right.
And Hanna, she's just got such an attitude. She's so...
Yeah, I know.
Something like brash. I don't know what the word is. I can't...
Like, you're being fresh.
She's a fresh girl.
She's fresh.
And she continues this for the rest of the show. Like, that's just who she is as a person.
We love Hanna, but
she's bratty. Like,
yeah,
it's just so unappealing.
Yeah,
to see her like that, and like from now on, like, she basically is like that. I don't know why that is the case. But Aria is a good choice.
And you chose Pam.
I chose Pam because, like, she's being the mother. She should be. Ashley too, like, asking the questions.
Yeah, the moms were
cop outs, but I couldn't really think of anyone that I particularly liked.
Yeah.
My shittiest. Do you have a shittiest?
Yeah, it's Ezra.
Mine is Allison.
Listen, I understand you were giving information in an abrupt manner you weren't ready for, but going to confront Aria at high school, I laugh at that, but
at high school.
At school, I think was inappropriate, and then the way you left, and I think you were going to leave and not tell Aria.
I think you were going to leave and not say goodbye.
I have to give him the shittiest this week for me. And Allie's a really good choice because, my goodness,
she was terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, she's always terrible. But yeah, and then the comment, like, you could have kissed me, bitch.
Wow,
no one said that. No one asked for that.
Yeah.
Cringe meter this week.
I'm feeling like a 7.
Okay, I will go with a 7.
The
Toby of it. The Toby of it.
Durag Toby.
Honestly, the whole lesbian bar thing was super cringe to me too.
Just the whole that sequence, and she like crawls on the ground. I think we're trying to be. We give her a lot of humorous things to do.
I think it was supposed to be funny. Some of it did not read. I don't.
Yeah. To me, it was lazy. More such the durag stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, the durag thing is ridiculous.
I cannot take I can't.
I think it was Kate in her email was like, oh, okay, so we know he has abs. We don't need to see them in every fucking scene. Like, that's all we're using. He is the boy toy. Right. It's just sad. We're going to give him he just looks pathetic.
Yeah.
He just looks pathetic. He looks great.
Why did we give him that outfit choice?
I'm sorry. Why is his shirt open in prison? Aren't you wearing a jumpsuit? Why is your shirt open?
You have a visitor. No one's around to
no one's watching the
supervise.
Visit. Yeah.
Your shirt's open and you have a do-rag.
It was ridiculous.
You know, it's just got to go up to an 8.
Oh, let's do it. I will go there with you, girl. It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Yeah. Just for that scene alone. It was enough.
It was enough.
All right, so we're going to talk about episode 18 a little bit. I cannot believe it. I say this every single week.
I know,
but
every
the
single
time
week.
flies. Yeah. It flies. So episode 18 is titled Dead to Me.
Ooh.
My secret. Shh. Allie's body is returned to the De Laurentiis family, and they're moving it to a mausoleum. Jason arranges for their girls to say goodbye.
Whoa. Does
Yeah.
it just magically appear?
The body?
Like
Or the mausoleum?
well, I guess kind of both. But okay, so we know the body was given, I guess you could say, on the ghost train.
Yes.
And so it's been in the police hands, coroner's hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so the family can now pick up the body.
Yeah. What's not good, though, is they don't have the items that were from the casket. So those items are still missing, and the
earring,
police doesn't know the police don't know where those items are.
Well, sure. But we have the earring is part of that, right?
Yeah, there'll
Like,
be
all the
some more
stuff
next week.
This is all the stuff that the girls put in, right?
Yeah, and then not just them, like Jason's stuff he put in there, but the parents' stuff they put in there.
Okay.
Like none of that, everything is missing. So
Yeah.
Jason says next week, like if the cops find any of those things, like they're going to be arrested because
Right.
if whoever has it is
And so
guilty.
then the girls are gonna
Right.
feel,
So A is like, great.
yeah, let me lay with that.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay, and a mausoleum, huh?
Yeah, I guess it was better than her being in the ground.
Yeah. I look forward to it.
Mausoleums are creepy.
I know.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Now I'm having agita. We had pickles.
Pickles, as usual.
Yeah, our next tasting video, and for whatever reason, it's repeating like an
Hour
almost
later.
2 hours later. What the heckles? Yeah. But yeah, this was a good episode.
It was
Is
a good
next week's
episode.
good?
Next week has some stuff. Yeah,
Has some stuff.
yeah. Actually, I think a lot of stuff happens next week.
Okay,
I
great.
watched ahead, so my brain is like kind of
It all
combining them a little bit. But the
Yeah.
next two have some stuff going on.
great.
Yeah. And then we'll be like 4 or 5 weeks away.
I know. I just keep thinking of the DVD disc. Like soon we'll be going to the new
last disc. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's everyone saying in the chat? Does anyone have any final words?
No, Vic was just saying. So whose body is it?
Oh, because
Also on the Toby stuff, they don't need to show him shirtless.
No, they don't. No, they damn don't. It's so obnoxious.
Yeah,
We know what you got. He's a good-looking man. Okay,
That's
we
right.
get it.
that's right.
You're just embarrassing at this point.
Uh-huh.
It's like that's all they are giving him.
Yeah.
Well, next week we'll be back for another episode.
Yes. Thank
Join
you.
us. Subscribe, YouTubers.
Yeah, if you're watching,
Do the things.
subscribe, like.
Comments.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we love those likes and comments.
We do.
And those subscriptions.
We do. And Betty's, thank you for joining us live.
Yes,
we
thank
love you
you.
guys.
Yes, if you are interested in joining us live the first of the month, we do that on Patreon. Of course, everything is in the description for the episode, and you can join us. We'll be back again next week. We hope you have a great week.
Great week.
Enjoy. Bye.